I said I'd do it, so here I am. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to The Right Opinion, the home of a twat with too much free time. And today I follow through on something that I have been planning for the whole year, the top 25 best songs of 2017. Now obviously this video isn't quite as objective as the title will imply, it's just the one that had the best ring to it. I accept that there are probably better songs in many regards, and I'll probably expand on that in the video at certain points, but these are the songs that I want to come back to time and time again because of some special quality not held in other songs throughout this year. 2017 itself was a weird year. A lot of mainstream pop became very bland, so I ended up in this weird hybrid alt music genre a lot of the time. There was a lot of great music this year, and I want to emphasize that, and a lot of songs were very painful to cut because of their fantastic quality. However, I had to make a decision to get 25 top quality songs out. However, before we do that, let's look at what the music reviewers call the honourable mentions.
With my two hands in the air as far as I can. Yeah. As far as I can. I've been thinking I'd rather go to hell, 'cause all my favorite people are there. And now we're gonna do what we do best. So won't you open up the sunroof? If I could take back time, baby, just so I could make you mine. I like the way be anything. Well, talk of the town, that's what I am now. Hear them whispering about. If you could learn to trust me somehow, I swear that I won't let you go. Because I'm 18 and I still live with my parents. Yeah, they're not like yours. Well, yours are more understanding. Waiting in line, you find it hard to define, but you do it every time, and you do it again, looking for signs of life. Run around on me.
Now, when I started compiling this list, I originally intended it to cover the top 20. However, that plan had to change when I realised that there were some songs just below 20 that did deserve more in-depth analysis. This wasn't one of them, but I'm still glad it's here.
I'm facing my faults, overcoming my addictions, talking out loud when I'm talking about love.
I heard this one and Sunroof back when I was entering the summer, and I realised they were both really good pop rock songs, but I wasn't sure which one would edge it long term. This one did. The bright guitar riffs, the pre-chorus before it kicks in with the bass on the first verse as this loser sings about how his life is completely fucked, with the chorus being this pop drop which is more likeable than it has any right to be. The buzzing bass synths on the second verse, the rhythmic bridge, all encompassed by this sheer desperation, just make for this really actually enjoyable listen. It's a song about losing your wits, but it has so much fun with it that it is just impossible to ignore, and that's why this one is at 25. Love it. This song is a bit of an outcast from the other ones on the list. It has quite a dry sound, and when I started going over my year-end favourites, I didn't really consider it, but listen after listen, I realised it was pretty fucking great. Liam Gallagher brings his A-game on the song, which is essentially a diss track to people who always want more than they can have, by hook or by crook. Firstly, the drum work is fantastic. It's pulsating, it drives a great groove with fantastic blending between acoustic and electric guitar, before this massive chorus jumps in as he tells this twat that he has the Midas touch. And this is the thing, Liam Gallagher sells it. If anyone doesn't give a fuck, it is Liam Gallagher, which makes this song even more glorious. And this beautiful, beautiful part towards the end with the horns and this conglomerate of guitars everywhere, it really is special. It's a song that goes places and knows how to use Liam Gallagher. He is going to get this person, and even I'm a bit scared. I don't mind Post Malone. I think he's a pretty great guy all around. He makes some decent songs. But if you told me I'd be including him in a year-end list, yeah, sure mate. Probably would have chuckled. I mean, this song isn't necessarily his song, it's a feature, but it counts enough.
It's all we got tonight, baby. I'm a burning man, baby, burning man.
Okay, so first things first, any song that uses a sliding chord structure sounds pretty fucking cool, with this smoky bass line that just eats up the song. Post Malone and Watt's vocals couldn't be a better combination, as they are both massive warblers, and it really does complement a beat like this. I love the melodic direction as well. There's variation in vocal delivery with every single line. It gives it a very unique personality. This is also reflected in the instrumental, which varies impressively despite its seemingly limited range of inputs, before launching into this fantastic guitar solo, and one that we definitely need a bit more of. I haven't spoken about the lyrics because there's not too much to say. They're kicking ass, and hey ho, who needs deep shit when you're kicking ass? There are a few songs that are definitely better than they're ranked. Once again, that's mainly because this video is quite personal to me. With that said, it doesn't mean that songs can't be appreciated for their craftsmanship, and this next one is definitely an example of that. This song is an instrumental masterpiece, really integrating a lot of the oriental inspiration for this song with very glossy yet fleshed out synthesizers, with this shimmering piano and smooth backing vocals and intermittent guitar work all composed together so well. It really lends for a particularly lingering atmosphere. There's this constant state of musical evolution throughout this 5 minutes, going over musical bridges and transitions and so much more. It's really quite beautiful. The song itself is about envy and how the artist would love to have the clout to tour the world. It's a personal message, maybe one that doesn't quite resonate with me or with the mood of the song, but I can still admire it nonetheless. As number 22 proved, I do place emphasis on a song's instrumental work. I still prefer a complete piece, even if some parts may be weaker on an individual basis. As contrast, number 21 proves incredibly strong in all categories, hence why it's just above Tokyo. I mean, let's get something clear here. The instrumental work is still fantastic. You can never have too many guitar tones, but the mood of this is much deeper, maybe too deep for some, as he cryptically and desperately searches for meanings and roots to his aforementioned pain. It is brooding, it is thoughtful, and it's interwoven with beautiful guitar work. It's all here. I think I counted at least 3 different guitar solos. The song just lets you slip away to it without revealing too much. It may not be a tearjerker, but it is one that just stops you and leaves you in a very contemplative mood. And for that, it's really quite special. So, now the top 20, the tracks that were always going to be here. This next track demonstrates how I value emotional resonance as an important factor to how I enjoy a song. Arguably not as complex as the previous songs, but one that still touches me, nonetheless. Ignore the part 2, they're both the same, just one without KIARA, though KIARA is what makes the difference in this instance. The original wouldn't have made it. By providing a second perspective, it lends the song to significantly more depth than it has any right to have, and gives us this tone about two lovers reminiscing about their previous times together, and despite the track intimacy that it provides, you feel that they're not really talking face to face, juxtaposing the lyrical symmetry with the contemplation that they may never reunite. And that's a very bittersweet tone. The song's composition, which is this soft synth guitar mix, really knows how to supplement the mood with that post-chorus drop, almost being this catharsis of emotion that both these people feel. I don't know if it's what they went for, but it worked. So, props to them. Most of these songs aren't ones that have been released in the last month, because normally I need some time to let them sink in. At the time of writing, this one was released in the last month, because as soon as I heard it, I knew it was making my list, one way or another.
I can't stop thinking about you. I can't stop thinking about you. I give up. I can't stop thinking about you. No.
This song perfectly encapsulates the euphoria in an admittedly slightly unhealthy obsession, but in a way I think Gardner understands that. As these cascading synths and drums collapse around his quirky vocals, you feel the joy and the turmoil of having feelings for someone. There's that sentiment that the recipient of this love may never even be aware themselves, the desperation with lyrics such as, "but there's nothing else I can do," and comparing this person to factors such as religion show that he is locked. As the synths fade away for one more percussive pre-chorus, you feel his vocals bare and honest as they come, as he lays everything down one more time. Some may say the overuse of the line "I can't stop thinking about you" is annoying, and I understand that. However, for me it's quite masterful because it perfectly reflects the tone and the lyrics in a way, making it catchy as all hell as well. And pretty damn great. Rap had a great year with some excellent albums from rappers who I hadn't paid too much mind in the past. Given the proportion of music that I listen to, you won't find too much rap in these lists, but when you do find it, you know it's good.
Face facts, cause we know what's the real motives. In the land of the free is full of freeloaders. Leave us dead in the street to be the organ donors. They disorganized my people, made us all loners. Still got the last names of our slave owners.
A lot of people have been putting Temptation on the list, and yes, that's definitely another fantastic song. But I rooted for this one when it came down to the wire, and there are a few reasons for that. Firstly, the production on the song is simply fabulous, and it's not a style that I've heard too often as well. Then you have the lyrics, and it's not about the content itself, but it's the delivery. Joey has moments towards the end of the second verse where you feel like he is wearing his heart on his sleeve, and we don't hear that enough in music. It's also distant, yet here he's selling his emotions to us. I feel like he is close to crying, and that is powerful in my mind. What finally pushes this song over the top is the outro that feels like it was inserted to give the audience that moment for contemplation, and I used every second. It's a song that I fully appreciate. Some songs are just anthems, and we need more anthems. On the first listen, I did not add this song to my favourites. Heaven knows why, but it's a hell of a good thing I came back to it.
Junk food forever, late nights together, jackets of leather.
This is a song that is just required in a year of such depressing mainstream radio. I have a respect for music that can make the normal sound incredible. This song is about doing fuck all with a takeaway, and the one you love, but the lead sells it, partly thanks to the focus being more on togetherness, but also due to the incredible instrumentation and melodic work, multiple guitar tones, harmonies, with the sheer pounding elation of a soaring chorus so desperately yearned for this year. The Amazons did a fantastic job, and this was not their only song that I absolutely loved this year. However, this one was the best of the bunch. With its unique topic and sensational delivery, there is simply not much more that can be said. Often there are a few songs that get lost in rotation throughout the year, but upon re-listen, find themselves gradually moved up the list until they hit a new high. This is a song that I had written off out of all the songs here, and yet when I came back to it, I realised that it was actually a priceless slice of musical gold.
You can stand on the edge, shouting out that you're ready to change, ready to change. You can say what you want.
The song opens with the vocalist cooing with real contempt as tender but menacing pianos grow into this huge chorus with propulsive hand claps and building drums before throwing itself into this guitar and vocal driven drop with the piano hanging over the mix. Once again, there's a real evolution. Each chorus is unique, really giving a feeling of progress and building on the emotion. How many songs this year have just fucking died halfway through or pulled away from a large chorus? This song pulls no punches. To sum up, this song is about someone who is a bit of a cunt, but fucking hell, Kodaline frame it like they're bloody evil, and I thought Liam Gallagher was brutal. But the lead singer sounds legitimately angry, and to be honest, if this was directed at me, I would not recover. Fantastic track, check it out. Sometimes there is a song that has no right to be as good as it is, that despite its simple and humble beginnings, everything has just fallen into place. This is one of those.
Let me tell you who I am, I'm your biggest fan. Got your picture on my phone, I got tickets to your show. Let me tell you.
This song is about someone who is using a very unique technique to pick up a girl, to the point of sounding slightly creepy, to be honest. It shouldn't work well, but it does. And there is a reason for that. Will Joseph Cook. He sells it. He is such a charismatic vocalist, effortlessly conveying the sentiment of dizzying infatuation. You feel that it's out of an adorable naivety rather than anything sinister thanks to that. This mood is only furthered by the infectious guitarist that is sprinkled all over the song. Some more acoustic, others more electric, yet they blend together so fluently. All of this combined makes for a truly joyous song and one of the best of the year. Great work, Will. Keep it up. I think out of all the choices on this list, this is the corniest choice. In a year of rap geniuses such as Joyner Lucas, Kendrick Lamar, and Tyler the Creator gracing us with their presence, including this guy and not those seems a bit of an insult. But although I accept that they have made objectively better songs, this is my list. But still.
With the gat and the glove, like I just wanna be free, not a slave to the stereotype. All alone in my room in the middle of the night. I don't have the words, but my stereo mic. I don't wanna be black, I don't wanna be white, I just wanna be a man today. I don't wanna be
Yes, I'm aware that Logic mentions he's biracial too much. Yes, I'm aware the song has this weird, slowed down outro. And yes, I'm aware the lyrics are corny as hell. But I just can't help myself. I love this song. From the bright piano keys to Damian Lamar Hudson's beautiful vocal performance over an interlude where he just belts his lungs out. It's a song that lifts me up. And as I said, the lyrics are corny, but at least they promote a positive message for once. A message where you can be proud of your achievements regardless of the qualities on face value. In a year swamped in negativity and stereotypes, this was actually kind of necessary and meaningful to me. And the fact that Logic can take a personal story and speak to the masses with it is quite special in itself. And looking in the comment section of the YouTube video, it clearly reaches a lot of people. I'm going to defend its choice here, even though I accept that there may be other better ones. Some songs are on this list because they're evocative. Other songs are just too well made to ignore. However, this is one song that I can't really decide which bill that fits. Maybe both. Geowulf made a masterpiece. This song's sweeping tone leaves me in the same contemplative mood every time. The soft electric guitars blending effortlessly with this excellent synth, which grow into the first verse as the singer searches for a love among emotional adversity before blooming into this beautiful chorus where all the previous components come into play and she confronts her love and his indecision. With these shimmering synths in the second verse and this monumental bridge where she realizes that she might have found some closure. The production is undeniable in helping that. And the lead singer could not be better suited to that production. Her airy vocals floating over the mix, bathing in it without drowning in it. This song really is spotless, albeit a bit alien to me. Amazing. Keep it up. Every year I'll find out about one or two artists that I think deserve to be the next big thing. This year there was only one of those whose music I really consistently enjoyed. And it was only right that he be included in this list because there were plenty more songs of his to choose from.
I believe in karma, and you believe in drama. You should try a little harder, or karma's gonna bomb.
As the stiff acoustic guitar line kicks in over some very dry drum work, Tom Walker sings aggravatively about this naughty wench who's fucking around with him. And as the pre-chorus creeps in, this swell of synths surround you, and you feel like something is going to happen. At a lot of points this year, nothing happens. It just does this disappointing drop and you're left feeling like a fucking wet flannel. And yet, with Tom Walker, you get that payoff. You get that massive chorus. And it's so refreshing because Tom Walker has managed to understand the art of the climax, with all the instruments synchronizing perfectly behind Walker's voice in this chorus to give it real gravitas. Too many vocalists have backed away from the chorus this year. Walker is no coward. The foreboding premise of Karma itself is pretty ingenious and definitely aids the very sinister tone. And that final breakdown where Walker just lets loose on this girl, I'd just be as scared as her at that point. You don't really know exactly what Walker's promising you, but that ambiguity plays into the particularly uneasy aura, menacing and brilliant, truly masterful aspect of the song. Truly fucking great. Thank you for this. Last year I placed My Hood at the top of the year-end list. It was a song that spoke from personal perspective yet appealed to a general audience, and that sort of juxtaposition of detail and universality always rivets me, particularly if the message is one that resonates. This year, that artist, Ray BLK, didn't quite hit those highs, but with the help of upcoming singer Dan Caplen, she found her way back onto the list.
Living by the numbers, 'cause you and me go through it like the others, and the highs still feel the same, and we still get drunk and flush champagne.
As I've said earlier this video, a song about mediocrities of life being made surprisingly pleasurable is always appealing to someone like myself. As the hollow synths buzz in the background, Caplen's frothy baritone reflects on the unhealthy but gratifying lifestyle that he and Ray BLK lead. As the stiff piano kicks in on the chorus, we hit that sour high that Caplen is trying to project, the dysfunctional exhilaration. Ray BLK fits perfectly to play that partner in crime with the tender harmony on the second chorus. But let's face it, the reason that song is here is because of the bridge. That fucking bridge, as the synths and piano mesh together in this apocalyptic, alcoholic, infused chaos. You realize that the protagonist may never escape that state that they are in. You feel the joy in the euphoria as it all falls down around them, and as the beat drops out, you feel yourself drowning with them, before that final chorus that is just the best culmination of the previous components. It's a great slice of contemporary music, and more than enough reason that the song finds itself here. Halsey, an artist I never really got into, and I'm not sure I ever truly will, but on her last album there was one song called Roman Holiday, which was simply sensational, and it demonstrated a level of introspection not shown in a lot of modern pop cuts. I don't know if she'll ever hit that high again, and her latest album left me fairly indifferent, but damn, when she strikes gold, she strikes gold.
Said that we're not lovers, we're just strangers with the same damn hunger.
Strangers is a hollow song, but from the industrial drum to the creeping synths, it really creates a brooding atmosphere of mystique, which is well suited to this tune, must I add. The chorus itself is like a controlled explosion. It grows so much but stays so tight, with these Roman choir vocals dripping through the back of the mix. It engulfs the listener. Jauregui does a fantastic guest performance, adding a very nice tinge of soul to her part, and the harmonization on the choruses create moments to behold. The context about the attempts to move on from a relationship and the passion that drives it, dealing with separation from something that's not working out but still having to live with feelings that linger. It's a simple message but very powerfully done, and the two-person perspective definitely aids that, preventing it from sounding petty or creepy. Fantastic song, check it out. There was a cut-off this year for songs that really emotionally move me. These top 9 songs enter that new tier, a tier of emotional resonance. For me personally, songs that I could sit down to and emote over. This next song is the only massive hit on the list, and whereas many mainstream songs could wear out their welcome due to overplay, this one never got old.
Miss the way you make me feel. It's real. We watch the sunset over the castle lonely.
Castle on the Hill opens with soft guitar tones as Ed Sheeran's voice reminisces over the energetic but slightly reserved beat. As the drums and haunting vocals kick in on the pre-chorus, you feel the memories slowly returning. And then, what makes this song? The chorus. This truly euphoric moment. Suddenly, that soft guitar tone becomes the peak of a soaring mix that captures so much raw emotion, with Ed putting in one of his greatest vocal performances to date. The joy and the pain, and all these powerful emotions that seem to desert some of us into adulthood. There is a uniqueness in being young, and the individual moments that we'll probably never be able to relive, and Ed Sheeran understands that. And then there's the bridge, and the fucking bridge, man, where there is this confrontation with the present and the moment that not everyone has fully realised what they want to be. That bittersweet moment is a borderline tearjerker for me. The framing is something special, and although Ed Sheeran surprised me by selecting this as a single, it was the best surprise possible. Fantastic. I've never really rated All Time Low too much. They have had some very good songs, but a lot of their music doesn't leave a huge impact on me. Not bad by any means, but I wouldn't expect it to be putting it on my best list. So, you know what this means? A contradiction.
You were my last young renegade heartache. It only took one night. Caught in the eye of a hurricane, darling. We had to say.
In many ways, it makes sense to have this and Castle on the Hill back to back, because they are very similar in this sentiment. The mature singer reflecting on the days when they had that youth, the wish to return to better days, yet I feel this song goes one step further than the previous, delving into the emotional psyche of the lead singer, addressing feelings of losing someone dear to you, denial and regret that you can't return to that time, and then the resolve to accept that you have to grow up. The memories that you had with that person, trying to tell yourself it was never going to work out, but still considering the possibilities if it did. The final line of the song alters the auxiliary verb for one final twist, and it's a nice little touch. The production and melody is a real step up, really building up to this emotional high on the chorus, with this propulsive blend of guitar tones with these liquid drums really pinning down a mix that could have been too loose. The melody really lets the vocalist lay bare his feeling while still retaining a lot of All Time Low's personality that made them popular with the fans in the first place. It's a song that finds maturity and age, but still finds himself in a lot of the roots that they base themselves in. It really disappoints me when I find an artist who barely any viewers have heard of, and for me it's so objectively clear how great they are that I have to share. And so with this next song, it is one of those moments.
Princess in a castle, you're a diva. Everybody says that I should leave ya. Mood swing back.
Sonny's Princess tells us the simple story about an entitled female who is draining Sonny's mental and maybe even physical resources. The song opens with these delicate drums and delicious layered vocals with guitar work that would make angels cry. Sonny's melodic composition is on point as he delivers intonations and inflections with ease, and then the chorus just slides in with all these components put together, and there are just these nice little tweaks that could have been left out, but yet he chooses to insert, and they enhance the mix so much more. The drum drop out at the start of the second verse, the organ line in the second chorus, and the solo guitar that is just laced throughout the whole song. But really, the cherry on the cake is Sonny himself, who has an unassailable vocal presence. It's really the performance of the year. There is no questioning that in my opinion. He had a heavy lumbering mix on the song and yet pulled it off with this beautiful performance. So complete credit to him. This is a great song and he made it happen. When writing up the shortlist for this, I realised that I didn't have any grime songs. It wasn't that there aren't any good ones out there, they just didn't make the cut this year. I like my grime. Last year I had Holy Grime by Wiley and This Is England by Kano in my top 20. So in an attempt to see if I had missed any at all, I listened once more to a few grime albums. I didn't quite find a grime song, but I did find something.
Been broken, although I'm not worthy. You fix me, I'm blinded by your grace.
I don't think I ever considered myself to be including a religious song. Friends know that I'm fairly cynical towards religion, but unlike a lot of tunes, this doesn't speak down to the listener. You feel like Stormzy is standing right beside you as he presents this, and it fortunately leans more on the spiritual side without being preachy. He is thanking God, but I honestly couldn't care. He just sounds so grateful, so likeable, so genuine. It reaches out to anyone who hopes they can be lifted up with or without celestial means. The organ swell, the touch of the guitar, and Jesus Christ, Evanike's vocalization and harmonies are unbelievable. He is on a completely different level in this song, and I'll tell you this much, the idea of God may not be one that I have in my heart, but the idea of thankfulness for the support when all seems lost, yeah, I feel that. So thank you, Stormzy, for this song. So when Tom Walker released Karma earlier this year, I thought to myself, what a great tune. This is easily his best all year. Tom Walker, not to be outdone, decided to release another song, and fucking hell.
If you've lost your way, I will leave the light on. I will leave the light on.
It's crazy that we have to rely on indie artists for the best drops these days. The chiming synths hit like a ton of bricks as Tom Walker roars with passion that no man can match. The song itself is essentially an open letter to a friend who is going through a hard time and turning to drug abuse. It's a dark topic, but like the lighthouse that Tom Walker has set up, there is still a shred of hope. The soft piano building on the chorus is sentimental and potent, and the bridge where you feel that desperation in his voice and lyrics building, that he knows that his friend is in danger, but he still refuses to give up. The determination of that is brilliant. The sheer belief and faith in Walker's delivery is truly outstanding. It sounds like he's been there and he sells it like he has. And I would say more, but I don't know what to say. You just have to check it out for yourself. It is sensational. I love it when a band can take elements of the old and integrate them with the new. That's what Def Havana did this year, and I give them a lot of credit for it. They really transformed music to me. But to go one step beyond and make a damn masterpiece, they didn't have to, but they fucking did.
When my lungs collapse and my heart turns black, hugging my ashes to the coast.
When actually writing this script, I was listening to the songs to make sure that I was getting all the points down, and this is where the emotions really did get the better of me, but I think I can keep it composed without the musical accompaniment here. In this song, the lead vocalist deals with issues of isolation, depression, separation, and returning to the places of foregone memories to try and cleanse yourself of those feelings. The lyrics utilize anecdotes and metaphors to tell a story with incredible poetic depth. The singer goes through these issues systematically in the verses, utilizing an acoustic guitar before exploding building into a huge chorus with bittersweet emotional highs. It is a moment of real musical transcendence. The piano bridge after the first verse is a great touch as well, and just when I thought I couldn't top all these swelling emotions, the bridge comes in and he confronts what he has lost as he sings. If I could find the legs to stand on or something, maybe I could take control of my own life. You realise that he may never get that closure that he yearns for because he hasn't truly realised a problem. And then it just launches into this huge instrumental break that just tries me every time. This song is brilliant. There's nothing more to be said. John Mayer, I don't know what the fuck happened. He's here.
And what about this feeling that I'm never good enough? Will it wash out in the water, or is it always in the blood?
Yes, John Mayer is an incredibly talented person, but his music never really had much of an effect on me. That was until mid-2017 when I heard this cut, and damn, in this song, Mayer addresses a lot of his insecurities and poses the ever-important question of nature or nurture, and the interesting thing is that a lot of his questions don't have clear answers. Are a lot of the feelings we have innate, or can we circumvent them for the better of our health? This framing is particularly important, as it's quite rare that we have an artist frame himself with that much equivocation, in a way enacting a double blind because he's not even truly aware of the answer himself. All of this presented over some of the best production work in his career, originating with the acoustic guitar. The slow introduction of more and more guitars throughout the mix is such a fantastic touch. It takes it in new directions every time, and all topped off with an appropriately soft but an appropriately beautifully breezy guitar solo, which just elevates the song more and more. It is easygoing, it is John Mayer, but it's still emotionally very resonant. Honestly, it is a brilliant tune, and I am so happy that it's here, and I'm so happy that John Mayer made it happen. Lorde had a commercially disappointing year, but it didn't prevent her from putting out a pretty damn great album. Now, a lot of critics chose to insert Greenlight or Liability, which are very strong songs as well, but I had to go for something a bit more personal.
The things we're taking, 'cause we are young and we're ashamed, send us to perfect places.
The song Perfect Places is about emotional catharsis through partying, alcohol and dubious substances. As emotional highs are becoming harder to find, she searches more and more desperately. Romantic things like kissing and taking off clothes are resigned to being mere functions as the hollow drums pound in the background, and we reach the final outro with Lorde questioning the existence of these perfect places over these monumental synthesizer tones. We realise that Lorde has come full circle, and that everywhere she searches for those perfect places, all the new highs lose their novelty and no longer fulfill what was desired. That is one powerful message. The synth swell and melodic delivery in the chorus really highlight the double-edged sword of the message. You feel the joy, but you also feel a lot of the turmoil, the slight push on Lorde's vocals as she herself reaches in vain to find the highs among an assumedly depressing existence. It is a tragedy, but one of the most poignant at that. Perfect Places is a beautiful cut of Lorde's album. The troublesome messages dealt with and addressed in such a nuanced way. It is really admirable. Fantastic. I don't know what to say. Check it out. For those who know me well, you'll likely know that my 2017 wasn't the easiest of years. I had a lot of things that just seemed to turn against me when I least needed them. Times have been challenging, but with faith of many people close to me, I managed to stay afloat. Music is part of that, so these songs reflect me and who I am in many ways. And sometimes you don't need a Bohemian Rhapsody to speak the world to you. Sometimes the right song can come along and reach out to you, a mix of being personal enough and yet still being masterful about what it aims to achieve. So without further ado, here's your number one.
To believe somebody said when the water's too deep, you gotta keep your head up.
The messages that the song Brother promotes are the sort of messages that keep me going. In the face of adversity, it's a simple message, but it's done so brilliantly. From the steel pan riff that opens up and anchors a lot of the song, to the sensitive vocals that address people going through hard times, to keep your head up over these soft tropical synths that just envelop you, the washed out guitar fluttering over the back of the mix combined with the repetition of the aforementioned phrase make it a real compositional masterpiece. It's identifiable, it's unique, but it's still general in its address. There's this acknowledgement that it may not be working out and it may not all just tie up immediately, but as they plead with the listener to carry on in spite of what's pulling them down, and they try to convey the hope of what they know may not be there. You feel it. I feel it. And that is for sure what really made this one reach out to me like no other song truly did. That's why it is here. Keeping your head up is not just about persevering and not letting yourself drown. It is about pride. It's about dignity. It's about loving yourself in spite of your own doubts. Brother is a lot deeper than it looks. Much like a lot of the water that we often find ourselves thrown into. The most important message from Brother is that it may be shit now, but it can get better. And I want to pass that message on to anyone going through tough times right now. It may be hard currently, you may feel the strain, the burden that life sometimes weighs us down with, but you're never alone, and you don't ever have to think you're alone. And if you ever do feel alone, drop me a line. I'm always on Twitter, I'm always on Discord. No one's ever that far. 2017 could have been better for a lot of us. Let's try and make 2018 a slight improvement. Anyway, I would love to hear your thoughts on what you believe were the best tunes. After all, my opinion is just one of many. I'm the Right Opinion, and I'll see you in the next one.